I think if you're talking shit about like Reginald, like I don't know, you're kind of talking shit for no reason because they actually always perform, right? So, like, yeah, I mean, there's like two sides to it.
To be clear, I'm not talking shit on Reginald. I think he looks great in that Gucci hoodie and the sunglasses when he rolls up on LCS. Well, after their 4 games, they are now 3-1. I'm joined right now by Svenskeren with coverage presented by Omni to talk about their team's plan to basically put Echo Fox number 1. That's basically what you guys walked into that. They're like, we need to make sure Echo Fox is undisputed number 1, right?
Yeah, basically our game plan, of course.
Very, very good. Well, you were able to do it. No, let's talk about it, because 100 Thieves was undefeated before this. You guys lost yesterday, but you were able to pick up the win today, bringing them down to your level. So what is going on, and how were you able to stop 100 Thieves? Because also, you looked pretty dominant in that game.
Yeah, so I think both Echo Fox and 100 Thieves look pretty strong coming into like week 2. And I think they're probably like the top teams right now in NA. So our week 2 was pretty like dangerous, I could say, like because we faced 2 good teams. But I think our game against Echo Fox was more like we just kept killing ourselves, kind of like we should have been able to win the game if we played our team comp better. But they just like started Baron and then we just killed ourselves. So it was like kind of like we panicked, I guess. But I feel like we're a pretty good team as long as we don't kill ourselves. Like that's kind of what Reaper is trying to teach us as well. It's just like stop killing yourself and use your brain. So yeah, if we can like improve our like brains, I guess, then yeah, we can win.
Yeah. Improving brains is always a good strategy. No, I mean, also talk to me a little bit. How much of it is your play and the team's inability to close out versus the current meta? Because at one point in time, we're at 38 minutes. You guys have like a 15k gold lead, and I'm just like, why does like none of these games ever finish in a reasonable time? I now just have to watch them just drag them through the mud for a while before it can finally happen. So why is this happening so much in NALCS?
I mean, it could be that it's the start of spring split, so teams are not really as good yet. Kind of like you kind of need to gel with your team and how to close out the game. So I think that's one of the big deal, because in our game against 100 Thieves, we should have really been able to end the game at like our first Baron or something, but we just like didn't really realize how we were gonna end the game. Really, I don't know why, but we just had to dive them, like be willing to dive. But it took us a while to figure that out. So it could be that the meta is just like not really allowing us to close out the games, but I feel like it's more just the teams not knowing how to.
Yeah, because a lot of people feel it's literally stopwatches, like slowing down time, which is the perfect name for that item if it's slowing down the game so much. Do you think that that's it?
No, I mean, stopwatch is like out of the game by like minute 20 and 30 anyway, so it definitely makes the early game slower if there's more stopwatches, because you're really scared of making a play, because you're always in the back of your head, you're like, okay, this guy has a stopwatch, like they can turn around the play, like, so you might not go for a gank because of stopwatch, you can't do a dive because of stopwatch. So yeah, it kind of makes the game like slower because of that.
Okay. So is stopwatch the worst thing ever and should be removed from the game? Because I see a lot of opinions like that online.
No, I mean, I like the stopwatch. I think it's like funny when you have it yourself, but I guess it's just too strong. But I already saw on PB that they're nerfing it, so it shouldn't be like a big deal.
Yeah. So we were talking a little bit about this before the video, but there's a Reddit thread this week that was basically like, I'm so happy for Svenskeren. Dennis seems like, I just look at him on Cloud9 and it's like he's prancing through daisies and there's butterflies coming by. The happiest man on the planet versus that evil, tyrannical TSM that he used to be a part of. Finally relinquished from the bonds. No, obviously a little bit of hyperbole there, but is there any truth to like a mental state change for you, or like an attitude? Like how different is all that stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, seeing that Reddit thread was kind of like surprising to me. It was like, I don't know, kind of like shit post, kind of like no one should really give a shit about that, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, joining Cloud9 has definitely been like a very surprisingly positive experience for me, because a lot of fans as well, they just like, I don't know, respect me more now for some reason. I don't really get it. It's just the fans, they go from one day, they hate you, and then the next day they love you. So it's kind of like surprising for me. But as well, just joining C9 compared to TSM, the like pressure that's on you is just very different in C9, as well as the culture in C9 is very different, where we're just more trying to improve. And when we do end up losing, it's more like we just go over why we lost, and we're not really mad at each other, it seems like. So yeah, like, even though we lost against Equifax, it felt like very positive experience. Even though we lost, where in TSM it would be a lot of like negative and a lot of like depression kind of. So just the whole like culture is very different, and I like it. Yeah.
How much of that is because of the pressure that the fans and the community and analysts and the type put on you at TSM, and how much of it is just sort of the natural pressure that exists within TSM from being such a top-performing organization for so long?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely the fans and just the team itself. It's like a combination because, I mean, you can't really say anything bad about there being so much pressure in TSM because they've always made the finals and they won so many splits, right? So I think if you're talking shit about like Reginald, like, I don't know, you're kind of talking shit for no reason because they actually always perform, right? So, like, yeah, I mean, there's like two sides to it.
To be clear, I'm not talking shit on Reginald. I think he looks great in that Gucci hoodie and the sunglasses when he rolls up on LCS. But no, I get your point, though. A lot of people, I think, are blaming Reggie, whereas you're saying it's more just a sort of how the TSM has developed over time, finding so much success that losses probably feel considerably worse there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. You said Equifox and 100 Thieves are potentially the best teams in LCS right now. Where would you put you guys? Because you lost yesterday to one of them, but you beat one today, so shouldn't that kind of put you up in that echelon?
I mean, I always think that during the first 5 weeks of Spring Split, it's kind of hard to tell who's the good teams because towards playoffs, the teams that had a pretty good showing in the start of Spring, they usually tend to like drop. It's always like this in the last years as well. Like I think remember like last year, Envious was super good in the spring start of Spring, but they just like drop because they don't have the right coaching staff or like the right culture in the team to like really survive the whole split and actually like prepare for playoffs. So I think right now, I mean, I think we're probably like top 3, but it's pretty hard to say because of all the teams are new, and yeah, I just hope we can keep improving.
Yeah. For C9, I don't know if you know this, but there's an interesting thing that happened while you were playing. Your CSGO team made history by winning a major as a North American team. Is that fun for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting because I used to play CSGO a lot, like during my breaks, and I played like before League of Legends, like even as a kid. I think every Danish male probably plays like Counter-Strike, so I think it's like pretty funny like that C9 is doing so well in CSGO because of that's such a big game in Denmark.
Yeah. Is it you? Is it now that they've got the Danish guy on the League of Legends team? There's an aura that has improved the C9 CSGO team?
I'll definitely take some credit there. Me and Jensen did make a sponsor video with Rush and Tarek, so...
Yeah. And then, finally, you know, you've got not only, obviously, TSM, but you also have Bio on CLG, you've got Double on Liquid. Do you care about how these guys do this season? Do you want them to do well? Is it like... No, I'm coming for them too. I mean, you know, what's your sort of thoughts on these guys?
Yeah, so like when I left or got kicked from TSM, I didn't really feel like I had any issues with any of the teammates. So I don't really hold any grudges towards any of them because in the end, it's like everyone is here to just try and do better. So I don't really, like I said, I don't hold any grudges. So, I mean, obviously beating them is more fun because of the history we have with each other. So I really want to like beat them, but again, I'm not gonna be like salty or like mad if we lose against them because I know they're all like good players.
Yeah. Are you still friends with them?
I mean,
acquaintances.
I mean, me as a person, I don't really like to talk with other. Yeah. I don't want to like be friends with like the other teams, kind of. So I talk to them like sometimes, but not really on a daily or anything. No.
How come? Like, why are you like this? What happened?
So I feel like just. You might have more respect for an opponent. I mean, this might just be me, but I feel like if you're like friends with someone from another team, then you might play against them like differently, like more not as serious. So I like just keep it like as a job kind of maybe with other teams. So yeah, that's why.
We were friends before, Peter, but now it's just professional, all right? Yeah. Whatever happens on the Rift, that's what happens. Okay. Yeah. Anything that you want to say to any of the fans out there?
I just want to say thanks for supporting me from the jump from TSM to Cloud9. I think a lot of people actually jump from TSM to Cloud9 to support me. I see a lot of the same usernames when I stream and on my Twitter. So yeah, thanks for supporting me.
Thank you so much for the interview and congratulations on the win today. Very big for you guys. And also the one in CSGO, which arguably, no offense, might have been a little bigger. So, no, but fun stuff. Everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. I know, you wanted the Ovly outro, and instead you're getting this one. But guess what? If you subscribe, not only will you get more LCS interviews brought to you by OmniSlash, but you also might have a chance of getting the Ovly outro in the future. So you should definitely do that.